Ladies and gentlemen, I give you
Khan, the eighth wonder of the world!
So I get asked this question. I speak highly about the cons and the pros of jiu-jitsu. So I get asked this question a lot. Why am I not a part of association? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speak on just the factual situation of what happened at my last association. I'm not gonna call no names. Even though you've seen the patch Pedro Sauer has nothing to do with the Virginia base and nothing to do with Pedro Sauer himself. So don't think that I'm on the internet now, so people tend to make all of these assumptions. It has nothing to do with Master Sauer himself or anybody in that organization, and really not the students where I was. So I've always explained, man, that like for me personally, when I came to jiu-jitsu, I didn't need it. To be quite frankly honest, I don't need it now. I just absolutely love jiu-jitsu. I don't need to train jiu-jitsu. I've walked away from it before. It doesn't do anything for me financially. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've competed for years. I know today and age with the internet, you know, everybody could put their stuff on. Well, back then we didn't have Instagram. It wasn't no Instagram. It wasn't even the IBJJF when I started competing. All it was Grappler's Quest and the Naga. That's it. That's all we had. So, in Abu Dhabi. So, I don't, you know what I'm saying? At this point, like, I don't need to really prove nothing. I do what I want to do in jiu-jitsu. I compete when I want to compete. I teach when I want to teach. Like, that's just where I'm at in life with it. I can walk away today as a black belt and it would not even matter. So I came into jiu-jitsu because the therapy it gave to me, being the type of background, the type of behavior that I was displaying as a very, very young adult in my early 20s, I truly found peace in jiu-jitsu, peace in mixed martial arts. Believe it or not, as tough as these sports are, as tough as art is, I found peace in it. And when you're coming from almost barbaric way of thinking and handling issues, just dumb shit, fighting, stuff like that, when you get humbled, that's what everybody needs. Like I said, everybody needs that one ass whooping. But when I was actually humbled by people who was a lot smaller than me, it completely changed me. So I didn't come into this wanting to be a tough guy. I already thought I was that. This actually showed me that you really wasn't. Because it's only 2% of the population is trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Only 2%. And it might be lower than that now. It's only 2%. And it's a very more small number of black belts. So at the end of the day, a lot of people don't know this. So being tough when you don't do any kind of combat sports and shit like that, you need to chill. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody CCW world, but you gotta chill out with how you approach things, because somebody will whoop your ass for real. Like, this is no joke. You will get your ass whooped. You don't know what nobody knows. So I advise everybody just mind your business. So again, I didn't come into this for that. I came into it and realized that what it was doing for me, which was therapy, it was making me think as an athlete. It was making me eager to learn. I could never get bored with jiu-jitsu. So I'll get to why I'm saying the reason why it's easy for me to walk away. I don't like politics. I don't like politics in anything. I don't like presidential races. I don't like none of that shit. As we can see what's currently going on in the country today, politics is ruining, like, friendships, breaking up families. Like, you go on social media now and you look at these people and you're like, damn, you was my friend this whole time? Like, we were cool? I don't care who nobody vote for. It's the things that come around the politics that's happening today that I truly disapprove of. Listen, I'm a minority, man. Straight up. At the end of the day, nobody can tell me what it's like being a minority. I do not want to hear what nobody tell me what should or don't happen or this and that. Everybody knows that racism is a thing, period. And either we're going to love each other, and if we're not racist, we're going to get past it, and we're gonna make people accountable for being that, or we're going to deny it, and then you're going to say to your friends that's minorities, it's not that bad. You don't know. Like I said, I was always told from my grandfather, never act like you know what it's like to walk in another man's shoes. You might not want that problem. The things I've been through in my life, you might not want that problem. So never never, never downplay what somebody else goes through just because you think you got the answer to that. I went through some shit that some of y'all might blow y'all head off if you've ever witnessed. So I don't want to hear nobody tell me what it's like being me or another minority in any situation, because I can't tell you what it's like being you. All right? So politics have created this aura. I was told by the head guy at the academy that I was training at that politics, he didn't want that in his academy. We're here for jiu-jitsu. We're here, this is what it is. You could do whatever you want to do outside of your academy, out of the academy. But when we're here, I don't even want it in our page. I don't want none of that. And I said, I agree. Again, I don't care who you vote for. That's not my problem. But when people start, and there's a lot of uneducated people who talk politics. When you start becoming a conspiracy theorist, these types of things start drumming up all these weird ass shit that may or may not be true. But at the end of the day, if somebody disagrees, I think we should be able to respectfully disagree, but we know that's not how it works. So I was told that that's something that shouldn't happen. One of my other training partners got into it with another student, and the head guy went on his personal page, even though this guy don't even talk much anyway, but he went on his personal page and told him the politics are not allowed. I don't want that in here because this is what it starts, and chastise them in this long ass paragraph, right? So I kind of looked at it as, damn, well, I wouldn't have went on his personal page and done that. I kind of would have inboxed him and said it. But he did say he didn't want politics because the things it can do to academy. It can split the academy in two. And me being the only other black belt in the academy at the time, I absolutely agree with that. I thought that was a healthy way of keeping this just jiu-jitsu. Do whatever you want to do outside of here, right? Great. I start getting these inboxes, DMs for other people in the jiu-jitsu community around our area and asking, was the head guy's page hacked? And I'm like, what? And they're like, look at some of his posts. And I'm like, so I go in there and I just see everything about politics and all of these conspiracies about politics. So I'm like, I think it's weird, but I didn't see anything. Then when I start seeing people, seeing the way he responded to people for questioning some of his politics and the things he was sharing and what he was saying about them, he was getting caught out by people that wasn't minorities for being a racist and a sexist and this and that. So for me, hey man, you just went from what people said was the nicest guy in jiu-jitsu to now people's looking at you like, whoa, and it's not even just minorities now. So I'm like, well, damn, that's weird. So then he started contradicting everything that he said he believed in. Again, you want to vote for who you want to vote for, I'm fine with that. But when you start contradicting everything you believed in, when you have a personal conversation with me, when you consider me your brother and you say some of the shit you was saying on social media platforms, you're putting that out there as you really don't give a shit if anybody's offended. So that means the person that he has spent hours talking to, who said he didn't want these things in the gym, that means he doesn't give a shit what I think. So I would like to think differently of the situation, so I gave him a call. We had a long talk, and even his wife said, she told him he needed to chill. He said he was done. It wasn't 2 weeks later until it happened again. At this point, man, you know, me knowing this gentleman and the type of character, let me just get this straight. This man had done a lot for me. He has looked out a lot for me. And even if he didn't have to, I never asked for anything. This is who he is. He's just that kind of kind-hearted dude. So I felt like, you know what, there has to be something wrong. Like, let me figure this out before I think anything negative. And we had a conversation, probably about an hour and a half conversation. And he apologized. He said, you know what? That's not what I want to do. You're right. We did have this discussion. I don't mean to offend nobody. You know, dealing with politics is this and that. Okay. It wasn't even 2 weeks later, like I said, it was back at it. Now, here's the catch. One of our students is a absolute known bigot. I'm just going to put it out there. And I do not give a fuck who sees this or who has anything to say about it. Because that motherfucker knows if he has a problem, we right now currently are somewhere where it's a mad at. So if he ever want that energy, he can get it. Trust me. Or whoever else. But him, he can definitely get that energy. Clock off whatever rules you want to have. We can do it. I let him slide for 3 years. He kept his mouth closed. We developed a decent rapport. I let certain things he said about me before I even got there that wasn't true. This motherfucker told them that I was some gangster, this and that, and I tried to fight him at some, which was a fucking lie. Because number one, I am a children's book author, and I am very, very, very respected in the community. So I don't know what the hell he talking about. He was at some, just talking. So I let it go. We developed a decent relationship, or not relationship, a decent rapport, enough to be able to be around each other. One of my training partners came into the defense of things that's happening, and he doesn't like it because certain things that's happening is unfair. Now, he is from Canada. He didn't like certain things that was being said, so he spoke on it. They jump on his post, and they nail him a new one. So somebody's saying that racism in the country needs to stop. We need to fix these things. We need to come together. It's bad. That's bad to y'all? If that's bad to anybody who support me, you can unfollow, you can unsubscribe, all of that shit. Because I'm tired of people denying the fact that that's a problem. Is it hindering me from doing anything? No, it's not. But is it a problem? Yes. People always say, well, you're not in slavery no more. Motherfucker, you're right. But we went from slavery to segregation, to black-only fountains, black-only restaurants, this, that, and the third. So these things, it was just 60 years ago, the civil rights movement was passed after Martin Luther King was killed. So I want people to understand that it is a thing. I am an African-American gentleman, 40 years old. I've been black for 40 years. I've been called porch monkey on the porch of my business. The N-word has been dropped. So you can't tell me that these shit don't happen. And I know y'all look like, well, why didn't you do this? It ain't about that. Trust me. Some teeth will be missing if I knew jail wasn't coming behind it. So it does happen. So the fact that he spoke up on it, my former partner, instructor, my friend, goes on there and rips him a new one for saying those things. Him and his bigot friend, the guy that I was talking about, get on there. Now let me tell you about him. He's the same dude that said, hey, I don't want that nigger baby around talking about his grandchild. So my thing is, if anybody is associated with that person, then fuck them. He said he didn't want his nigger grandbaby around. And this is the person that you're going to bat for. So at the end of the day, all of these things happen. All of these weird Black Lives Matter, all this bullshit, nobody gives a fuck. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't care what you think about Black Lives Matter. I don't care what people think about Trump. I don't care what people think about Biden. I don't care about none of that shit. What matters is the relationship that I have with people. So if that don't matter to them, then fuck them. So you don't got to agree with the Black Lives Matter or whatever. Because we can see organizations are doing some wild shit right now. We can see that as been clear as day. You don't have to care about Black Lives Matter. But if you have a minority friend, at least you should respect that person. So when people get into this jiu-jitsu game, all of a sudden, all these people went on this Blue Lives Matter and this and that and start doing these funding cops to come train jiu-jitsu. I fully believe in that because some cops come in half-ass trained and none of these dudes may never even broke a nail in their life. So they are scared out on these streets. And this is what I've heard from police officers. I'm not just talking. I've also worked with them too. So yes, I believe they should train jiu-jitsu. But don't forget about the fucking minorities that help pay your bills too. I know it's not a lot, but there is some that use their hard-earned fucking money to come to a jiu-jitsu academy to learn too. And there's some very successful competitors that are minorities too. So when you go on this thing because you're political and you want to grow your business and it's a business move to say all these things, don't forget about the black and brown people you have in your academy. And let's not also forget, Brazilians are not fucking Americans. Brazilians are also minorities too. So while everybody is focused on being political and being that, you have minorities, and this fucking sport came to America from minorities. So at the end of the day, fuck that academy. Shout out to all the training partners that was there. I got some really good friends there, but I will never set foot in those doors again. Because after everything me and that instructor been through, after everything that instructor's done for me, I didn't get one phone call. Not one. My grandmother passed away. Not one phone call. I had the coronavirus in June. Only one phone call, only because he felt he had to. I have another brown belt. That's a minority friend of mine, Tyrone Freisen. I'm going to say his name. He still pays dues there and haven't been there in months. Not one phone call. So I guess none of us matter. Not me, who went to battle for your school when people talk shit about our school. Not me. Not me that always had your back. Not me. Yes, you've done a lot for me, but I have value to that school and I have value to that person as a friend too. So let me tell y'all something, jiu-jitsu people. And this is not just for this particular situation. Stop treating your students like they owe you something. Only thing they owe you is tuition. Your doors does not be open without white, black, brown, whatever students. Your doors don't open without those students. So when you go on this tirade and this political shit, remember, it's people of all shapes, forms, sizes. Some people can't even afford nothing else but paying their tuition to you. So stop treating students like shit. Because this is a fact that goes on in jiu-jitsu and it is terrible. And this is why currently now, I do not belong somewhere. Because don't nobody do it right that I've experienced. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to my jiu-jitsu brothers in Texas, in Southern Ohio who reached out to me on Instagram and on YouTube. Shout out to y'all who saying, man, fuck all that shit. Deal, man. You a brother, man. What's up? Shout out to y'all because I'm hearing your students inboxing me, telling me how much they appreciate y'all too. Your black, brown, white students inboxing me. So obviously y'all doing it right. But it's a problem here, and it's a problem with what I just experienced that is absolutely not. So fuck the school I was just at. I do not will never ever recommend that fucking place. And as for that person, fuck him too. And fuck his little fucking minion, his little racist ass minion, fuck him too. And if there is a issue, and see, this is what kills me because he knows me. He knows how hard I go. He knows how hard I go. So to treat me like shit, fuck you. And as for the minion, whenever you want to get on the mat, you know, Mr. Tough Guy, you are a glorified security guard in a fucking courtroom, bro. You're not a fucking police officer. You never made the police force. Why? Because you're a piece of shit. You are a scum fucking bag. That's why you never made the police force. That's why you never. So keep on giving head for your fucking belts because you ain't worth shit. You suck too. You've been in martial arts for 30 fucking years and you're trash. Get on the mat and show your motherfucking ass and do a tournament. Do a tournament. Since you so big and bad, since you wanna rough up inmates when they got on handcuffs and shit. Oh, because this is the same police officer that said, he's not a police officer, I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to disrespect anybody in blue shirt with this fucking cockroach. This is the same dude that said, hey, my job is to protect the innocent and not people who make bad life choices. Hold on there, bucko. Fuck you mean bad life choices? A doctor gotta save a rapist. It's his job. So that makes it even more clear. While you stand your ass in there like on Judge Judy and stand at the fucking door walking inmates to their seat. Because you don't have a fucking clue about being a cop. Make sure you go to hyphylife.com. Promo code Kong. Follow me on Instagram at Midwest_Kong and Facebook, Midwest Kong. And listen, shout out to all the legit jiu-jitsu people. All the people who love this art, who want to spread this art for positivity, who competitive and who keep it respectful, those types of guys. Shout out to y'all. Unfortunately, I just haven't ran into many of them yet. But look, help me get that 99K. I can be on the road to come see some of y'all. We trying to get that million. And look, man, I'm sorry I had to open up, but y'all know if y'all see me act like that, I'm very passionate about what's going on. I'm passionate about this jiu-jitsu shit, even though I don't fucking need it. But this is still something that I put in my life for 16 years. And it needs to be done right. And if it's not, some of these dudes don't deserve to wear a black belt. Some of these dudes don't deserve it. It's a privilege for me to have this shit on. Some of you motherfuckers don't deserve it. Especially the motherfuckers I'm talking about right now. Y'all take care, man. Subscribe to the channel, man.
Is that a monkey?
What the hell is that? Somebody talk to me, man. Turn right at 5. Contact.